Hello everybody, this is Douster, and I'm here at the Anaheim Gardenwalk. I'm here to watch the new Spider-Man No Way Home movie. So, there are spoilers, so if you don't want to see this video or you don't want to get spoiled, I recommend not watching this video at all because there are going to be spoilers. So, see you after the movie.
Find Peter Parker. Find Peter Parker! Great, it's just some random guy.
Oh wow, look at the food. And I'm back from the movie and that was really intense. Oh, look at this reindeer. I'm trying to find a quiet place so I don't spoil it for everybody else. Look at this. Really decorated here at the garden walk. Wow. Look at the decorations. Oh, look at the cute little poster. And the Santa. That's creative. I like this one. Oh. Wow. Wow. They have a lot of these. They have some trees hanging on the top. I never thought there'd be a mariachi band singing right now. Well, that's kind of cool though. Sorry for making you wait, but I just wanted to look at the trees real quick. You can see the Christmas decorations from up here. A lot has changed in the Anaheim Garden Walk. I never knew there was a Mexican restaurant like this here before. Okay, so there's no one around, so I'm gonna vlog it. So, again, I'm warning you guys, if you have not watched the Spider-Man movie and you do not wanna be spoiled, I recommend not watching this video. But other than that, it was a really great movie. It was very sad, very traumatic, and it was really good. Probably way better than the first one. I don't know why I didn't like the Homecoming one. I liked the second one was better, but this one was way better. A lot really dark, but I mean it kind of made sense because as a superhero you have to have a lot of responsibilities, unfortunately, and there's always a lot of sacrifices when you're a superhero. But the movie was really good. It was really sad though because unfortunately someone dies in the movie, and when you don't have a lot of family it's really hard to move on. But I'll start from the beginning. So here at downtown Disney, because I'm trying to look for a place where there aren't that many people, but it's kind of hard. But it was definitely a really good experience. I would highly recommend watching the movie if you're a huge Spider-Man fan. Definitely really surprising. I knew MCU was gonna bring in the surprises. But yeah, it starts off during Far From Home when they announce that Peter is the killer of Mysterio. Mysterio is apparently still dead. Definitely looks pretty during Christmas time at Disney, downtown Disney and Disneyland China. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Mysterio is not alive apparently. I thought he was hiding, but he's not. So Peter Parker pretty much has to endure a lot now that his identity is revealed. Unfortunately, it causes him a lot of problems with his friends and family. They tried to apply for college, MIT, but unfortunately, they all got denied because of them getting associated with Spider-Man or Peter Parker. And Peter feels bad, so he tries to go to Doctor Strange to see what he could do to fix things. But like in the trailer, it goes wrong, and he basically ruins the spell like 5 or 6 times, I can't remember. And that's when all the villains pop up everywhere. So we then go to the highway scene where we see Peter trying to tell one of the MIT workers to help his friends apply for MIT. And well, I don't know, she seemed like very kind of like, those people whenever you're interviewing for college, they look very serious and you're just like very intimidated. well, things go wrong, and then Dr. Octopus apparently shows up. And, they have a fight scene. He manages to save the MIT employee, and she tells him that she's going to talk to the MIT, see what they could do after Peter saved her life. And, what happened? And she pretty much runs off, so I don't know what happened to her, because, Green Goblin appears, but luckily Peter manages to get into another, like one of those portals that Doctor Strange does, and Doctor Strange tells him that, they had guests coming in from different universes, and so he had to, how do you call it? Doctor Strange gives him some kind of thing to put the villains back in like these pods so they could go back, and then there's this cubicle thing where when you press the button they all go back to their universe. So, oh yeah, they got the lizard guy. Doctor Strange got the lizard guy, and he was able to get Dr. Octopus, of course. And Peter catches Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know if you remember. He goes to like this electric area and manages to catch Electro. Sorry, I had to cut it out because I didn't want people to hear the spoilers. I don't want to ruin the movie for people. But basically what happened was that he catches Electro, luckily, and what other villain? And he manages to find Greek Goblin in some kind of like a place where homeless people usually go. I think Aunt May's a volunteer for it, and then she tells Peter that she wants to help these people, and Peter's like, well, it's not my problem. But she's all like advocating him and telling him that, it's important to help other people, and because he has powers, he could do that. So he also manages to get Sandman. I forgot about that. Sandman was helping him, and I thought Sandman wasn't as bad, but unfortunately he's just very misguided, apparently. So they managed to get Green Goblin through the little homeless shelter, and Doctor Strange tries to send them back, but Peter doesn't want to. He wants to help them, like help cure them or help them understand. So he takes them in the hideout that he and Aunt May have to hide due to the news and press. So he stops Strange and traps him in his mirror dimension, as he calls it. And so Peter tries to put the villains in the hideout. He manages to cure Dr. Ock, but the others, they just manage to break free and just get out. Unfortunately, the building ends up tumbling over, and he tries to stop the villains, but unfortunately, Peter fails. I mean, it is a lot of people, and unfortunately, this causes Aunt May to unfortunately die. And yeah, she tries to put the serum on the Green Goblin. What's his name? Norman. Yeah, Norman Osborn. It's been a long time since I watched the first Spider-Man movie in 2002. But unfortunately, she dies of blood loss, and not only Peter sees it, but Happy sees it on the way here, and he manages to escape, and his friends try to locate him, but of course, he's still traumatized by her death. So MJ and Ned, they try to find out where he is, and then Ned, because he has Doctor Strange's ring, he's able to open portals, or I guess like he says, maybe he might have some magic in his family. And he opens a portal, and the first person to come out of that portal is the Amazing Spider-Man's Andrew Garfield, which was really shocking, considering that, they're from different movies. And then he opens another portal, and then he finds Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And then, they all try to locate Peter, and the other two Peters, they try to talk to him, lecture him about, how the other Peter from the original Spider-Man lost his Uncle Ben, and the other Peter lost his girlfriend Gwen. And Peter's just basically the Peter that we see in the main one. He's usually very filled with rage because his aunt died, and now he has to pretty much try to find a way to stop the madness, and he tries to get the box, but MJ takes it from him. And they fight together at the Statue of Liberty. So Peter basically informs the villains to meet them at the Statue of Liberty. and the three Peters fight it out, and what happens? He manages to cure the lizard guy, pretty much all the villains. Dr. Octopus helps out, and MJ apparently falls almost to her death, but luckily the other Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, manages to save MJ, almost like as if he's redeeming, like having the closure from what happened to Gwen from the other movie. I haven't watched the Amazing Spider-Man movies because they're kind of boring in my opinion, but I'm not gonna lie, Andrew Garfield's pretty cute. But it was kind of a bit of a closure moment because of what happened to his girlfriend. And what happens next? All the other Spider-Man managed to make it, and the last one that's left is Green Goblin, and Peter from the Marvel one, the regular one, the main one. I'll just call him Spider-Man 3 because he's basically the third guy that we know. I mean, there's probably tons of Spider-Man reboots, but I'll just call him Spider-Man 3. So Peter, Spider-Man 3, pretty much beats the crap out of Green Goblin after what happened to Aunt May, and Green Goblin's just making the situation worse. But luckily the other two, they managed to stop him, and they managed to cure him, Green Goblin, and unfortunately Peter decides to tell Strange that he wants everyone to forget that he is Spider-Man, especially his friends, his girlfriend. And so, all the other Spider-Man, the villains, they go back to the world, and everyone forgets that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Even Doctor Strange himself, which kind of stinks, because how is he going to be in the Avengers? But anyway, I'll film the rest once I get to a quieter spot. It's just there's a lot of people, and I really don't want to spoil it for them. I'm trying to be nice, but there's just so many. But I'll get back to it. Just wait for a couple minutes. I'll put the timestamp on the description below so you guys could, if you don't want to hear spoilers, just skip it. I'm at the World of Disney store. Wow, look how bright it is. A lot of people today. Wow. Beautiful this is. So I just got done eating, and luckily there's no one around here. I just tried the Earl of Sandwich. It's really good. I really like the Earl Sandwich Club. But anyway, as I was saying, so I was at the part where they had the big fight, 3 Spider-Men versus the big villains from, the other verses. And I think I was at the point where Spider-Man 3, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, was beating the crap out of Green Goblin. And he almost kills him with this little surfboard thing that Green Goblin usually uses to fly. And luckily the Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, managed to stop the other Spider-Man from killing Green Goblin. So everything gets resolved, and Doctor Strange basically tries to hold that spell, and Spider-Man 3 tells Doctor Strange to let everyone forget about him. And unfortunately he does that, and pretty much the Spider-Man 1, 2, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, they leave, and along with the villains too. And pretty much Peter Spider-Man 3, Tom Holland Spider-Man, he basically tells his friends Ned and MJ goodbye, and that MJ says that she loves him, and yeah, everything turns back to normal, sort of. I mean, unfortunately Aunt May is unfortunately dead, and everyone else has forgotten Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man. And he tries to talk to MJ to see if he could try to remember. She could try to remember him, but unfortunately, I think he realizes that he wants to protect his friends. So he decides to leave it as it is, and MJ and Ned pretty much live their own life without Peter, which is pretty sad. And then we see Peter in like some kind of an apartment where he has to pay rent, unfortunately. And yeah, it's pretty. He looks pretty lonely, but he has that classic Spider-Man suit and just swings away, fighting crime, and just moves on with his life. But that was pretty much it. Now for the end credits. The end credits, we managed to see Eddie from Venom. I haven't watched the second one, but I did watch a little bit of the first one. And we see Eddie and Venom. Well, not really Venom. He's just voicing, but we don't see him physically. And Eddie's basically drunk, and they're basically trying to locate the Spider-Man, and for some reason they just disappear. I don't know what that means though. All of a sudden we see like this little globby black moss thing that's on the counter left from them. I don't know if what that's supposed to signify. I don't really read the comics, so I have no idea what that's supposed to signify. And then the second credit is the trailer for the Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, that's what it's called. We see Scarlet Witch Wanda, who is just cutting cotton, I think. It looks like cotton from trees. I don't know, I could be wrong. And we see a sneak peek of Multiverse of Madness, and I'm thinking, I never knew could be a credit scene with the trailer. And then it came to me that, what about the Avengers? I remember in the end of Captain America, the First Avenger, we saw a trailer of the first Avengers movie. With Captain America, Iron Man, etc., etc. I'm like, oh yeah, they did that before. I remember. So it got me thinking, like, oh, now I understand. Because this is still, like, the beginning of Phase 4. I think that's what they're at right now. And, they're still doing the shows and everything. So Multiverse of Madness, I think, comes out in March. Not far from this month. What I liked about the Spider-Man movie was that there were some Christmas themes, which is kind of surprising considering that, they probably did it earlier, and I don't know, you wouldn't expect that. I know Hawkeye, the season's basically like Christmas theme, so I'm assuming maybe No Way Home's kind of related, like in the same time as Hawkeye. But yeah, it was a really great movie. There were some funny scenes, like the part where I don't want to say too much, but there was Jamie Foxx's Electro. He was all butt naked. Although you don't get to see Electro naked though, thank God. He must have gone through a lot. I watched that movie Django Unchained, and he was butt naked in that movie. Really, really, really. So yeah, that must be a lot for him to do. I was kind of a little disappointed we didn't see Sandman's form until like the very end of the movie. I kind of wish they would have done like, but I think maybe there was just so much time. That's why they had to cut it out. But I wish they would have done more like scenes, like what happened to the other Peters, like, and the villains after they got back home in the end of the movie, like. Because I heard there was a rumor that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had a daughter, and Kristen Dunst, is that her name? The other MJ, she was on the set of the movie, so I was kind of surprised that we didn't see them. Her and that other girl that was in the Daredevil show on Netflix. But it was a really good movie. I wish we could have seen a little bit what happened to the other Spider-Man, see how their lives are as of now, especially, growing up. I always wondered what happened to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man after the third one. I know the third movie ended in such a very tragic note with Peter's, best friend Harry dead, and and in the Amazing Spider-Man, I know for a fact that Gwen dies, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is pretty much by himself. So I don't know. I wish we could have seen more of that. Like, what happened to them? Like, are they okay? How are their lives now, or something? But I guess maybe Marvel had so much. They probably might have cutted it out, or maybe there wasn't enough time. Which I understand, budget and everything. But it was a really great movie. I would rate it 100 out of 100. Really funny. I really like how they made the villain, like, how we're so used to seeing villains, like, die and get, because they're like villains, bad people. Well, maybe I like how they just try to make them more like regular people. Like they're more than just villains. They're people too. Like through all that evilness, there's some good in them, and I think that's a really good way to do it. I mean, like maybe try to help them mentally. I know that some people struggle with mental issues. So do I as well. And I'm glad that they kind of did that with Marvel, like trying to help the villains with their mental states and everything. That was really good. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty much it of the movie. I would honestly watch it again. Like, I have a brother, and he said he was gonna watch Spider Man two more times in the theaters, and I'm thinking, wow, you're gonna waste your money away. But I would do the same too. Like, I remember watching Avengers Endgame, I was like, I'm gonna watch it again in the movies. But unfortunately, I didn't get to. I don't know why. I can't remember why though. But I would do it. Like, honestly, I really like this movie. But my question is, what's gonna happen now that Peter no longer has no family and his friends don't remember who he is? Like, I was thinking maybe we could get another MJ with red hair. If not, maybe it could be something different. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe because I heard there's a rumor that they're planning to make more Spider-Man movies, and Venom could be in the fourth one. So I don't know. Maybe we could see Peter in college. Who knows? Maybe we could see Miles Morales because I know the actor who voiced Miles Morales in that Into the Spider Verse movie. He was at the red carpet along with Jared Leto, who plays Morbius in the upcoming Morbius movie coming out sometime. I think next month or March. I can't remember. So I don't know. I can't wait to see the rest of what Marvel has planned. I just hope that things go okay, and not gonna lie, I know it's just a character, but I hope Peter Parker like has some friends or something in the next movies, because that kind of stinks. No one's gonna remember who he is now anymore. It just sounds really lonely to me. But yeah, I'm gonna explore much as downtown Disney as I can before I go. One last time looking at the tree before the year ends. It's almost 2022, guys. Wow, looks really pretty at the Grand Hotel. Too bad I don't have a chimney at home. Oh wow. Wow, look at this.
We have two more.
Wow, looks really nice. Wow. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Anyway, this is Downstairs, and I'll see you in the next video. Comment, like, subscribe for more Christmas videos, abandoned store, and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.